This game is rated E10 for ages 10 and up. For more information, please go to esrb.org.
Hello, everyone. That was a nice zoom up to Link's nostrils. And welcome back to the Tears of the Kingdom logs. I'm Kirby Volt, but you can call me KV, and I'm going to stare into your face apparently right now. In the last log, we were looking for some shrines and some clothing items, as well as booble frogs, and we spent, I think, the good part of 15 minutes at the end of the log trying to find a cave to get into where this booble frog is. And I think I looked it up between logs, hence why we did the zoom and everything, so it was just like, hey, I'm an idiot. Did you know it's like all the way over here? And so that's probably where it is. I'm guessing that's where we're going anyways. Also, for whatever reason, before I started recording, I was just like, I want to go listen to a song from The Music Man. And so I'm listening to the Broadway recording of Hugh Jackman singing the song You Got Trouble. And it's interesting. Music Man, I like that musical. Very, very good musical. And obviously, that's probably my favorite song from the musical. It's very iconic, too. I mean, there's really good iconic songs in that musical. Do we have pictures of... Yeah, we do. But it is definitely... I can understand why I don't ever do this, because if I have that going in the background as well as watching this and its music, and I'm talking, like, my brain is just like, there's too many things going on, please stop. So, it's okay, the song's almost over. I'm gonna... was it really right here? Was it? Oh, yeah, because there's the bloopy. Also, really funny is when I said, is it right here? It synced up with the Music Man song saying right here. Oh. Okay, well, here's the cave we were looking for. Okel's Naval Cave. Which apparently goes places, because this cave is vast based on how the radar was picking things up. Ignore... No, not gonna... I would have ignored him, but, you know. Like, I think I was going to ignore him, and then I was like, no. This one's personal. Never mind, ignore... No, it's still personal. Ow. Wait. Why is the Demon King bow made of metal stuff? I don't think that... Oh. It's dead. Alright. Yeah, was it because I don't know, like when I'm working, I like to put on background music. There's a shrine here too. Yeah, duh, I knew that part. But the question is how we get there. So I'm guessing that this will help us get to. Why do you think it's above? I don't think it's above unless you read it was above, and now you're just confused. Which is a perfectly valid reason. Okay. So when I'm at my day job and I like to put on background music, sometimes I'll just kind of see like what stuff YouTube recommends to me, because usually it's stuff that I'll typically enjoy because I like watching, or quote unquote watching, listening to show tunes or video game music or whatnot. So just today it was like, hey, do you want to listen to You Got Trouble from the Music Man? And I was like, well, don't mind if I do. Love Robert Preston. Love that song. Great stuff. And then it got me on thinking, like, okay, wait a minute. I know there's other versions of this. And so I've seen it before, but I saw again the version of Seth MacFarlane at the BBC Proms where he sings it, and dang, he would be great if they were to do a remake of that movie. Obviously, I don't think he's going to top Robert Preston, but I think he would do well, because he has that sincerity to his voice, but also that snake oil salesman type thing that you kind of need for that role with Harold Hill. Which Robert Preston does great, because obviously being the originator, he's just fantastic at it. I know they tried to do a remake of it was a TV movie, so the budget wasn't as great. Oh, you're just gonna open the moment I take that. Okay. Well, you should have told me that in the first place. Otherwise, I'm just here like, well, what do I do with this? Just avoid boulders, I guess. The tried and true Zelda pastime of avoid boulders, don't get hit by boulders. Is that just sinking to the bottom of everything? Can I pick that up anymore? I think it's dead. Okay, go get it again. So I found this compilation of different people singing it, and it interstitched them all through different parts of the song. I didn't know that it was impromptu, and it was probably part of a radio broadcast or a TV broadcast thing. But apparently, Patti LuPone did a singing of it, and dang, she's amazing. There are some other people there I didn't recognize, unfortunately, but they were doing great. And then I felt terrible because then that TV movie had Matthew Broderick in it. And I know, a lot of people don't like Matthew Broderick, and I don't understand why. He doesn't seem like a bad person to me. Maybe he's done something bad that I don't know about. But his performances are usually pretty good because he has a type of character that I'd say he is very good at playing. The Harold Hill role, not for him. Not for him whatsoever, and it could have been the direction too. Okay. No. Keep that. But he definitely he could sing the song well, but he definitely did not have the impact that the other singers did. And I was just like, man, miscast right there. I'm so sorry. Because I like him in The Producers, I liked him in The Lion King. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is not a movie I particularly care for, but he did a good job in that movie. So he can act pretty dang well, and he can sing very well. It's just that was just not the role for him to play Harold Hill, and it stuck out like a sore thumb in that compilation. But then they got me thinking oh, we've also had a recent Broadway revival that had Hugh Jackman in the role, and I was like, well, Hugh Jackman, he's also fantastic, so should go listen to that. And that one was weird. He can sing the song very well. That's the version I was just listening to, and there's nothing against his performance, and there's nothing against his singing. He, being Australian, he puts on a very different accent than I'm used to, because he really tries to bring that snake oil salesman type of voice to the character, which I think is just perfect. But for whatever reason, and this is probably not a him thing, unless it is, but parts of the song are slowed down compared to every other incarnation I've heard of it. So instead of being let me think. What would it be? And yeah, that was Reward Shrine. And don't worry, I know some people have told me hey man, you have to do a lot of work for these Reward Shrines, and you're right, and I should be acknowledging that a bit more, but yeah, Reward Shrine. We took care of it, no problem. Let's find that Booble Frog and get the heck out of here. It's probably right over here, I would wager. So, let me try it. Okay, so there's this part of the song where he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in the table, pockets that will and then it just kind of goes from there. But that's how the usual tempo goes. But then in the Hugh Jackman one, it's you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in a table, and I was just that. Why is the tempo so off? What is going on here? And it keeps flipping back and forth because some parts feel like they're the original tempo of the song, but then other parts don't, and it's just very weird. It's not a bad performance, and he does a great job, but man, whoever made that decision to we need to slow down parts of the song for some reason, No, you didn't. And I know you didn't because I believe I've seen Hugh Jackman on a late night show where he does the entire opening number all by himself in perfect time to the like right tempo without missing a beat. Oh, is that a Doom thingy? Yeah, that's a Gloom Spear. Oh, don't get hurt by the Gloom if you attach it to a weapon. Right? Probably. I don't know. It's a long weapon. Look at that thing. It's gonna poke your eye out. Yeah, there's just like, I don't know why they did that. Just I feel bad because like, I mean, I feel bad in general because that revival in of itself was kind of problematic. Not in like a terrible way, but it was. Okay, so should I get into this? This is me nerding out about musical theater stuff. So, are you okay with that, Link? I'm nerd about musical theater unless something like crazy happens. So I apologize. Although, where are you going? I guess let's figure out where we're going first, and then we can talk about it. Okay, well, we found it. That, and there's the shrine. Oh, yeah, because that was the shrine we were trying to find. Because we marked them on the map, so... Yeah, there's no shrines there. We're going to go to Kakariko anyways. For what purpose? Don't know. So, on Broadway, there's a bunch of major theaters, and the theaters are owned by wealthy groups that own the theaters. It's the best way I can put it with not getting into too much technical stuff without looking things up at the moment. So, because of that, they want to have a good return on their investment should they have their show be have their theater be taken over by a show. And was it the Schubert or the Gershwin? Oh, no, it was the Winter Garden. It was the Winter Garden. I knew that. Okay. The Winter Garden Theater had a show that premiered in 2019, and that was the musical adaptation of Beetlejuice. I freaking love that musical. Haven't actually seen it, but I've heard all the music from it, and I've loved the performances of what I've heard and some bits and pieces that I've seen. Now, that show did not do very well in its opening weeks. And the opening weeks of a show on Broadway, especially depending on the contract that you sign for the theater, is a make-or-break deal. So, they basically had a... Oh, hey, can I talk to the ring runes yet? No, oh, you can't? Okay, I guess you can't, then I can't. Well, I would like to get in there. Can I just go in there, please? Yeah, I think past me was like, are these shrines? They're not. They're not. Okay, so what? A trip through history. Yeah, well, I think we already found all the ones that we can. Maybe we haven't. We'll just double check to be safe, because it's been a while since we've done that. So Beetlejuice the musical did not perform well in its first few weeks. And because of that, they had, I think it was called the stop clause, that basically said, hey, if you don't make X amount of sales by this time point, we, as the owners of the theater, have the rights to say, hey, after a certain point, you're kicked out of the theater. And we can replace it with a different show. I think I already got this one. I don't know for sure. And so this is what's like really interesting that happened. So it didn't perform well initially, but that's partially because if you want to get a ticket to a Broadway show, A, you gotta be in New York City, which is expensive. C, you got C. Being in New York City is 2 points. It's A and B. C, you gotta get a ticket to the show, which is expensive. And D, you have to like really want to see the show in the first place. Beetlejuice the musical does not I would say, cater to that high-end, I have all the money in the world to spend type of demographic that a lot of Broadway musicals do. It's a sign of the changing times because obviously you want to make things that feel more new and fresh. The problem is that if your main base is just people who are going to be fuddy-duddies, then they're only going to want to watch the fuddy-duddy stuff, which is unfortunate. Like, we've had a few surprise hits in the past decade. Like, Book of Mormon was a surprise hit. People ended up going to that because people were like, oh, this is amazing. Even though it was more shock value than anything else, since I have seen the touring version of the show. Hamilton was another one because I don't think a lot of people would have done that type of rap style of music on a Broadway stage, but because, oh, it's American history, people are like, oh, and the president's endorsing it too? I gotta see that. You have information? Okay. Dye the white pattern black when the sun awakens in the sky, then the sacred shrine will appear. Okay. I appreciate that. We'll figure what that means at some point. Dying to find it. So, my point of saying that is that there has been changes to Broadway that have made it like kind of more modern, so it's not just the fuddy-duddies. But the problem is that with shows like Book of Mormon and Hamilton, because they get so popular and they get so incredibly booked, they still kind of cater to the fuddy-duddies because they're the ones who actually have the money to go and see it. Beetlejuice was a similar shock-type musical in of itself that wasn't as obnoxious as Book of Mormon, in my opinion. But because of that, because we just had Hamilton that was like, oh, you can tell prestige art by the use of this type of music. I never thought of that before. And then it was like, okay. But you're going to let other people see it that aren't just the fuddy-duddies, right? It was like, no. So they didn't really gravitate towards that. This is why the first 2 weeks of the show being open for Beetlejuice was not good, and they didn't get a lot of money back. However, they turned to some of the younger stars in their cast who basically advocated, hey, why aren't we promoting this more on social media that people of my generation or slightly older, mostly younger, would be into? Because a lot of how it ended up getting its word of mouth out then was through like posts on TikTok and stuff on Twitter where they just do like shorts, and they would like kind of showcase, here's the musical's about. It's about this kind of like rebelliousness, and the music's fun and kind of has this really cool energy to it. So in this happening, the musical actually ended up reaping back the amount that it initially set out to make, and even more so by the time that it had hit the winter of that year, of 2019. So the unfortunate news is because of the clause in their contracts, they would have to vacate the theater by June of 2020. However, but as they were seeing now, the show was now being a huge success because a lot of people were getting into it because it really touched up a different demographic that wasn't as well catered to in the Broadway scene. So it was kind of this like, okay, so what do we do? How can we save this show? Because we obviously still want to keep it on Broadway. Like, we have these giant sets that look incredible. We want to really kind of showcase this off to other people. So they tried talking with the theater again, like, hey, this is making its money back now. It's selling out. There's a lot of new interest in this. And the owners of the theater were just like, no, we don't want that. I was like, but it's making money. And then basically they went, no, we have a revival of The Music Man coming to Broadway, and it's going to have Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster in the lead roles. We don't want your stupid bioexorcist show. I don't think they said that exactly. And I know most of you probably know who Hugh Jackman is, but Sutton Foster is a huge legend on Broadway in of herself. So both Hugh and Sutton is like a huge get for a show of that. So they were kind of like, okay, well maybe like you could delay it a little bit, and they're like, no, we're not going to do that. And when they finally like, as the numbers started to tick in for how much the Beetlejuice show was making at the Winter Garden, they had finally been like, okay, like we have definitive proof that this show is a success, and I feel that we can at least do it for another 6 months, if not a year. And I may be wrong on this, but negotiations started on that, like, because obviously the moment it closed on Broadway, it wasn't going to open right for the Music Man. The Music Man would still need rehearsal time, would need to build its sets and everything, so that wasn't going to happen at least until the winter of 2020 at this point. And what I'm understanding, and I might be wrong on this, is that these negotiations of like, hey, maybe we can keep Beetlejuice for going longer, Music Man can happen next year, they were happening in February of 2020. And if you know the rest of history as we know it now, those talks fell through because they couldn't put the show on anymore because of COVID. So the show, which was supposed to end in May initially, if those talks didn't go through, and obviously at this point they didn't, the show ended prematurely in March. Did not even get like a final, hey, we're going out, so come see our final performance, because COVID happened and it was just like, well, sucks to suck. And then everyone had to leave because obviously live theater is a huge, like, yeah, maybe don't do that during a pandemic. Understandable. Sucks, but understandable. And so the people who owned the Winter Garden stuck to their guns, and eventually the revival of the Music Man premiered in 2022 after, COVID stuff. 2022 or 2023? I think it was 2022. I don't recall. That said, now is all doom and gloom. Beetlejuice, because it had gotten such a cult following, actually did interest another group. And so while it wasn't the exact same show, because they didn't have the same luxury of the space of the Winter Garden, they were able to transfer the show to a different venue that was kind of like, it was an interesting venue, because it was a theater that was in a hotel in New York City. And so Beetlejuice ran for another year, roughly, at that location. And they even got most of the original cast back. So it all worked out in the end there, but man, it was just like, I feel bad talking badly about the Music Man revival. So, to make a long story short, I feel bad about talking bad about the Hugh Jackman Music Man revival not sounding as good as it could be, knowing the history as to they probably shouldn't have even had it in that theater yet had things gone correctly. And maybe they initially had a different director that was going to be on board, but then COVID happened, so that got changed. But yeah, the tempo changes in You Got Trouble just seem weird. And I heard there's also tempo changes in 76 Trombones, which is also very weird. Just part of the reason that makes the character of Harold Hill extremely enjoyable is that he has a snappy delivery and performance. And slowing that down kind of takes it out of the character. And that's no fault of Hugh Jackman. He still plays the role amazingly, at least from the recordings I'm hearing. But it is just kind of like, that was an odd choice. Anyways, this has been KV Talks about musical theater. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you, Lionel, enjoyed it as I beat you up. You got anything else fun to say to me? You're not gonna come, like, even close to me. Alright. Oh, you're just gonna break my shield like that. That's great. Thank you for that. I didn't really want you to do that, but it's fine. Speaking of music, I got my Kirby and Forgotten Land soundtrack today, and I got a special edition, so it comes with this cool picture frame. You can put different pictures for our different scenes from the game in there, and it has the music box on the back, and then it plays Welcome to the New World, and it's really cute. And also, like, there's a small art book that came with it. Was not expecting that. There's also commentary about the track philosophy and how they were composed and whatnot. Very excited to read through that when I have the time to actually sit down and attempt to translate it, because it's all in Japanese. But and poorly translated that. I gotta get back to studying Japanese. But to bring a long story from quite a few logs ago back, it uses the door method for storing the discs again. But hey, it's only 4 discs, so it's not as egregious as Tears of the Kingdom, almost making me worry I'm going to break the disc every time. Although I haven't actually taken the discs out yet, so we'll see how that goes. But apparently they actually did record a full Japanese lyric version of Welcome to the New World, so that's going to be nice. That's going to be a fun little surprise, since we've only had that kind of teased at us in the Kirby 30th anniversary concert. Anyways, bye-bye, Lionel. I wonder when I'll see you in Echoes of Wisdom, if I'll see you in Echoes of Wisdom. Well, I want that bow, because it's a good bow. Get rid of the duplex bow. We don't need that. Speaking of, we're just talking about everything here that has nothing to do with Tears of the Kingdom right now. I mean, we fought a Lionel. That was kind of cool. It's cool to fight a Lionel. Oh, you're gonna put the duplex bow on the... No, you're not. Okay, that's not a shrine. Also, I don't even know what we're doing over here. Oh, because there's supposed to be a shrine around here, and we went to the pin, and we didn't actually write the thing with the guy about the shadow. I just wanted to beat up guys, I guess. But I got further in Echoes of Wisdom. I got further, quote-unquote, last night. I pretty much only did, like, side stuff, which was actually really fun. I like that they took the approach of still keep it more to a traditional Zelda game, but they took some modern takes, even from, like, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, with how they do side quests, so you can keep track of them. Because I know that's kind of the annoying part in some of the... I wouldn't say like in all the older games per se, because I think Link to the Past, Link's Awakening are pretty straightforward. There's a Korok here? Hi. Gonna mark you on my map. I'm gonna talk to you apparently. Yeah, where is he? Good for you. Oh, we're actually gonna deliver this one. We haven't delivered a Korok pail in a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna try this out. All right. So there was a showcase, and maybe I've done this already, but the ideal design is this. Apparently, this is the ideal design for a bike because it will always give you upward momentum and forward momentum. I mean, I have a little weight with the Korok on the back, but it otherwise works. And because fans almost never run out, this lasts a lot longer and is better than a wing. Now, I actually have some problems with this design myself, because it still has the problem of constantly pushing up. So if I want to land anywhere, I kind of just have to do that. And that didn't work out very well this time, now did it? So, I know there's like a perfect way to build it, but the perfect way to build it is too time-consuming and annoying, so I don't do that. And also, I think I abandoned this design pretty quickly, because I found designs that work better for me, for what I want to do. And this design, while the most optimal, I don't like it, so I'm not going to use it that much. Yeah, especially because I'm like, well... if I wanted to deliver a Korok, where I put the Korok on? It was causing too much weight on the other, on doing it on the back, so do I put it on top of it? But that's going to put weight on there too. So it's ideal for getting around, but it's not ideal for Koroks. Unless I... what do you mean that didn't... Okay, get... I don't know, get on there, I guess? Sure, put you on the front. That won't cause problems, I'm sure. Okay, well, let's deliver this Korok. Okay. This is the optimal design if you can build it exactly the specifications of how people say to build it. Me. I don't like this design, because I crash into walls and fall off stuff. I'm making my own that's going to be better than that one. Also, it's just lame to, at least for me, it'd be like, oh yeah, this is how everyone else is doing it. And it's like, cool. I don't want to do it that way, I want to do it my way. He's right over here. Hello, he's like right here. Right here. That's your friend, hooray! Okay, cool, take him, I don't want him. Okay, then we have that thing. Don't like that thing. The history now. Let's dying to find it. Let's get this one done, hopefully, maybe. Because like, they just put it like on exactly on a specific way, and it's just And like the rationale of it is like, oh, if you do it properly the very first time, and then you save it, then you can just keep making it properly every other time. And I'm just kind of like, that's cool and all, but it works. But I'd rather make something that's cooler than this. Although I think I kind of just make variations of this just that make more sense for me personally. But hey, at least we'll go up to that giant sky island and see what's up there. Yeah, so my point, again, about Echoes of Wisdom is that they've taken some design philosophy choices from modern Zelda games that definitely help it. So, like, the side quest system is similar to how it is in these games, so you can keep better track of them. I know it was definitely Ocarina onward. It was definitely harder to keep track of side stuff unless you actively knew what you were doing most of the time. Even my favorite Zelda game of that era, Wind Waker. What is that noise? Is that the rain going through it? Ugh. It's a weird noise. Even Wind Waker had that problem. And at the very least, in the Wii U version, you can make like notes on the map, so that could help you out. And the DS games you could also make notes on. So there were methods, but it still wasn't the game helping you keep track of it. I definitely would prefer that going forward. I don't think the Link's Awakening remake did that, but it's been a while since I've played it. But then again, there wasn't too much going on in Link's Awakening that wasn't hard to follow. For the most part, everything is pretty cut and dry. Like, there's a trade side quest, and there's the secret seashells. That's about it. So there's not too much that you have to really keep track of comparatively. Oh, also, well, Majora's Mask had the Bomber's Notebook, didn't it? So that could help you keep track of things. I mean, time-wise at least, but I think the 3DS version had a much better version of that for the notebook, so that could actually help you keep track of stuff as well. Maybe the other 3DS version of Ocarina of Time did that too, or at least had something that could help you keep track of your quest a bit better. Then again, everything on the 3DS you could use there was a note system on the 3DS that you could use for all games, so that was there too, although that was definitely a bit more limiting compared to the 2DS Zelda games. I guess I have to go back and play some of those Zelda games, like Link Between Worlds for sure, because I think Link Between Worlds had some kind of quest system, it just wasn't as robust as what we had in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. You need to get on one of those first, buddy. Yeah, that didn't work out so well, did it? Yeah, get, there you go. Okay, now ride it. There we go. And this is the Flux Construct too. This is like... This is weak sauce. What is that thing at the... There's like some weird... Oh! Oh, well, okay. Well, there was another Sky Island that was obscuring the moon, and now the Blood Moon's happening, so that's just dandy. Does the Blood Moon revive this guy? I don't think it revives this guy, does it? And also, these large Sky Islands usually have some kind of treasure chest. Ooh! That's good! That's good! Alright, so we still have that one. Apparently I've never been over there. Oops. I got the thing there, but I never went to the giant platform where there's definitely a boss. Okay, I did that one. So, now here's the problem with this build, is that once you get up, I want to get down. Yet my feet don't touch the ground. Flying fast without a sound. So here's me trying to rebuild it in a way that will maybe work better? Question mark? Question mark indeed, because I don't think this is going to work at all. But we'll find out. Innovation is the key to... Ow. Failure is always an important step. Okay, Blood Moon, just come on. I'm allergic to Blood Moons, apparently. Because I'm gonna... I thought I was gonna sneeze in time when it happened, but apparently not. Okay. Okay. I was just gonna do a full, like, circle in the air. Alright. Always wanted to go 90 degrees upwards. Ooh, stabilize is a good idea. There's the sneeze. Sorry about that. I mean, it's working, kind of. In fact, it's working so well that I don't... Oh no, actually we are descending because of the weight. This actually surprisingly works. For what I intended it to work for, at the very least. I wanted to have more downward momentum, and that's actually helping. So that's kind of neat. It's actually like... Dang. This is a really good descending vehicle. I'm proud of myself. And it looks cool. I think. It reminds me of a train. Don't ask me how it does, it just does. Yeah, I need to play those other Zelda games again just to kind of see how they handle side quest management. Because I've really liked how Echoes of Wisdom has done it so far. It's been helping me keep on track of things, even though it's very easy to get distracted in that game, especially when you can just summon silly things all the time. Alright, and now we made a loud crash when it came down, but we did it! Alright, can we get this shrine? I mean, it should be easy. Shouldn't be a problem. But, you know. It's me. Let's find out how well I can solve puzzle. Need to dye the white spots, the bright spots with Shadow, the hedgehog. He's not in this game. I heard he has a game coming out. It's not even his game. It was originally a Sonic game. And they're just like, no. Now it's Shadow game. The Sonic game's still there, though. It's like, okay, that's cool. But, what does Sonic do in the game? Oh, he just does the exact same thing he did in the previous game. Okay, so in the previous game, he celebrated his birthday, and then time paradoxes happened. And that is literally all the story we get in that game. Yep. So what we do in the Shadow game? Well, in the Shadow game, it looks like they're bringing back the main antagonist from Shadow the Hedgehog, and they're going to relive all of Shadow's most traumatic events, such as when a literal demon from an alternate timeline that never happened because we pretend that 06 never happened for a long time, and now we're not pretending it didn't happen, shows up, and he has to live through his past once again and defy the alien people, and then maybe also, because the time paradoxes are still part of this, get to reunite with the Professor and Maria once again to say his final farewells to them. Oh, so, like, it's going to actually have a story this time. But Sonic Generations had a story. No, it didn't. That's it. I hope that there is, like, at least something for Sonic to do. Generations isn't a bad game by any means, but it is a very, like... So what does Sonic do in this game? Yeah, he just goes through stages of levels you've played in the past. Okay, cool. Does he do anything else? Not really. Okay. We recreated these stages, alright. So, Green Hill Chemical Plant? Yep. Cool. Actually, I think the most insufferable thing is gonna be hearing people go, oh, Mania did these stages better. Because it did. But it's just like, man. Can we not go to Green Hill Zone for once? No, we must every 10-year anniversary, and also the 25th-ish kind of whatever we're deciding Mania counts as. Gotta go back to Green Hill. The Green Hill's in Sonic Battle. That had nothing to... Look. Gotta go back to Green Hill. Green Hill song isn't even that interesting. It's iconic. But literally, Green Hill Zone theme has a really amazing intro. And it's like, that's so cool. And then when you finally get past the intro, the rest of the song is just literally like 2 or 3 notes. Boo-doo, boo-doo, boo-doo-doo. And that's it. That's the rest of the song. At least in Mania, and I think in Generations, they had the courtesy to change it up so that it repeats the intro again, because the intro is literally the best part of the song. But other than that, it is kind of a boring song. Okay, well, we're doing it. We're making this happen. We're just going to have to wait for the sun to keep moving around. It's very... Well, what would you choose? Angel Islands. Angel Islands of the original trilogy is the best first stage song of the Sonic series. Well, it's from Sonic 3, yeah. You don't have to do an order of release. Like, I don't know. Maybe it would be cool if Sonic 1 was the last stage in Sonic Generations instead, and you picked, like, Starlight Zone or something. But everyone knows Green Hill. I know everyone knows Green Hill, but you could do something more interesting. We're picking new stages for the Shadow campaign. Good! That's good! There wasn't any Shadow the Hedgehog representation in Generations, which, in fairness, it wasn't Sonic's game, so he shouldn't have been there. But it looks like there's going to be some more Hero stuff, there's going to be some 06 stuff, and hopefully some other stuff. I think like even more Adventure 2 stuff, so happy for that. So looking forward to playing that game. Not sure if I'll pick that up when on release, but I'm looking forward to playing that. Also, I'm wondering, because I already own Generations on Steam, can I get Sonic X Shadow Generations at a discount? Because technically the original Steam version is going away. You'll just have a way to, like, access it retroactively after the fact. I'll have to look into that. Anyways, reward shrine again. Granted, this one actually took us a little while because I saw it, I figured out what it was, and then I went to beat up guys, and then the actual shrine took a bit for us to do. What am I going to make? I'm going to make something out of this. Topaz? Yeah, lightning rod. Lightning rod seems like a good idea. There we go. Cool. Alright then, while we get this blessing, light of blessing. So dumb. Thank you all for watching this video of Tears of the Kingdom. I know we talked about a lot of things that weren't Tears of the Kingdom, but I still had fun, especially with some of the cool contraptions I made. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, yada yada yada, don't have to, you don't want to. If you like what you see as far as the game goes, available on Nintendo Switch, hopefully playable on successor, but of course, most importantly, I wish you all a wonderfully great day, and I will see you on the next one. Until then, ciao.